Today I had to call my doctor 179 times. 179 times just to get through to the receptionist, who then was like, no appointments today, they've all gone. That I could go to the walk-in centre if I wanted, or call back another day and start this whole process again. Now, I don't know if this is because of this, or if it's a UK thing or whatever, or a health anxiety thing, possibly. But I kind of feel like this imposter syndrome feeling when I'm calling my doctor's surgery, almost as though even if I have a legitimate thing to talk about, that I'm wasting time and I'm taking up space and I might be not taken seriously. Often I feel like I have to do one of two things: either up my symptoms, so make them seem more extreme than they are, so I've got more of a legitimate reason to be seen, or downplay my symptoms and not seem as though I'm being a hypochondriac and I've got health anxiety and I'm taken seriously in that way. Almost like I want the GP to realise that what I have is a real thing and they're going to look into it without me having to put it all on. Now, I think the issue is when you do have health anxiety, there has been times in the past when I have been unsure if a symptom is in my mind or real. So I think maybe there's a sense of that when I'm going to the doctors for reassurance sometimes. I think there's that feeling of maybe a little bit of, am I taking up space? And should I be here? And am I going to get any help? But there's also a fear that comes with health anxiety. And this is the main thing that I want to talk about. And it goes back to this 179 calls that I had today on my phone. It's that feeling that it's really difficult to get an outcome and to get an appointment and to get treatment and to get seen and just to get your initial diagnosis. And my whole thing of health anxiety is this irrational fear of not finding something in time, or having something and not having it being taken seriously. And I have that feeling quite a lot, and I'm experiencing it at the moment actually with a little bit of health anxiety that's kind of come out of nowhere. But it's a real thing that exists, but I almost feel like I've got to fight to get just a chat with my doctor, and then I've got to fight to get my referral through quicker. Everything feels like a little bit of a fight. So then it feels as though it's extra things on my mind, rather than even being able to process properly what the symptom is, what's going on, and trying to be rational. It feels like a fight or flight situation. Now, of course, I've met so many doctors, so many who are so lovely over my life, and make me feel reassured that I can be honest and chat with them. But then, especially recently, I've had so many experiences where it's kind of like, oh, there's nothing we can do. And if you've got health anxiety and I'm worried about something being serious, and there's nothing you can do about a referral that could be like a year, for example, which is a specific example. I did talk about that recently, that anxiety of waiting for a referral, because I've got a very long wait at the moment. I've even been deciding going private for an appointment, because I don't know if there would be this feeling, I don't know if it's like that in other countries if you're watching, but this feeling of, if I'm paying for something, then I'm not taking up space, I paid for this. So, one, I'd get seen quicker, so it's off my mind, even though it's very expensive for the consultation, and I've still not worked out how it works with tests and treatments and everything, so not decided. But in my head I'm like, oh well, I feel maybe this less of imposter syndrome by going private for an appointment. Is that it? Is it that, you know, I feel like the NHS is advertised so much in England as being so deprived and in demand, and this clearly shows it. All the appointments went. If that was my mum or someone who is not tech savvy, I had to keep pressing that button all the time to eventually get through. So that would be very difficult for anybody who is not tech savvy. So I don't really even understand how someone who's maybe older is getting an appointment with a GP at all. it again feeds back into this fear for health anxiety for me of things being this fight or flight. Like, I've got to fight to get this seen, to get this taken seriously, and I've got to feel like I've got to exaggerate my symptoms or under-exaggerate them. It's all of these things when really I should just be going to the doctors because I'm worried about something, be honest about what's going on, and then get seen, get treated, get tested for whatever that is. So it's this fight aspect of having to, I hear this a lot recently, you've got to keep pushing. I called the gastro department, who I'm having a referral for, and they were like, yeah, you've got to keep pushing, you've got to go to A&E maybe and say your symptoms are worse. That's what they said to me on the phone. They said, go to A&E, say your symptoms are worse, and then you'll get some tests that day, which I'm actually considering even doing, just so it's off my mind. But yeah, this video is just a little bit of a rant about that imposter syndrome feeling. Do you feel it? Do you ever feel like that in the doctors? If you're from a different country, how does it feel when you maybe go to see your general practitioner? I don't know if you have that in other countries. In England, we have a GP, which is kind of like the first step. And then after that, the GP refers you to where you need to go. Which in my head has just always been a bit of red tape. Like, surely, if I'm worried about my gut, I'm worried about a pain in my belly, I should just go straight to the gastro department. That should be the first person I'm talking to. If I've got a chest problem, I should go straight to talk to the lung department. If I've got ear, nose and throat, I hate the red tape of it all. I hate the process of it all, because I think for my health anxiety, it just spirals out, which is why I might debate private healthcare at one point, which I did make a video about, and I am debating. But yeah, that's where I'm at. It's been annoying that health anxiety's been back, but I'm trying to be kind to myself and trying to just understand. But it's this fight that's the thing that's causing me the most anxiety, like having to fight for an appointment, to fight for these tests, and almost feeling like I'm taking up time every time I've seen a GP recently, when all I'm doing is expressing what's happening, which has been real things. I've had some symptoms that are real symptoms, some physical symptoms that you could see without being too TMI, so bringing them and then still feeling like I'm taking up time has been difficult. So yeah, I hope you've not had this experience, but maybe if you have, share some of your stories. It always helps to hear. Subscribe to my channel to hear more random videos, but also talking about health anxiety and other stuff.